Welcome everyone to this episode of the Palmetto Guardian. I'm Sergeant Chelsea Weaver.
And I'm Specialist Flonasia Neals.
And today we have some special guests with us. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
My name is Audra Harmon. I am the Soldier Family Readiness Specialist Lead for our state in South Carolina.
And I am Master Sgt. Eric Gallman, and I am the Senior Enlisted Advisor for the Service Member and Family Care Directorate.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have some new faces from Service Member Family Care because I feel like we always talk to the same people. So it's good to have new faces in here to talk to us about our subject today, which is Month of the Military Family, which is November, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. November is the month where military families are honored. It started back in 1996 where it was officially recognized.
Now, which maybe I just haven't really been paying attention, but I feel like the last couple of years they put a lot of emphasis on Month of the Military Child and Month of the Military Spouse, but I haven't really heard us talk about Month of the Military Family. So obviously the difference is one is for the children, one is for the spouses, but what does it all entail as far as the family side of it?
Well, Month of the Military Family, we want to put more emphasis on it because we do focus on the children, we focus on spouses, but we want to make sure that the whole family is included. So Month of the Military Family, we want to recognize and thank the entire family, the moms, the dads, the children, the spouses, all of them that are in the background supporting our soldiers across the state.
So what exactly do you guys do on a day-to-day basis in the positions that you're with Service Member Family Care?
Well, I lead up the Soldier Family Readiness Specialist team, and I have 13 team members across the state. They're assigned to each of the units, so each unit has a representative. We're state employees, so we're here to support, resource and referral, provide information on everything from financial counseling to youth hunts to camp, just making sure TRICARE, any of the challenges that our military families have, since we're really a small population and there's not a lot of community resources that can help them with the specific challenges and questions that military families have, we make sure that we find the answers for them.
All right.
So my job on the daily basis is to be the Senior Enlisted Advisor for my commander, my director, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Henson. And in all listed matters, I also supervise the ID card section for the state, as well as our operations section, so the kind of behind the scenes of Service Member Family Care, and then to also be a support element for all of our programs. The programs that we really try to emphasize and get out for Service Member Family Care, of course, the SFRSs they're the ground troops. They're in the units. They know the real deal that's going on with soldiers because soldiers talk to them so frequently, and sometimes we'll talk to them first before you find out something may be going on. We also have an employment services branch, which is really heavy into finding those who are underemployed or unemployed a job, and they have partnerships throughout the state. So I interact with those folks, as well as our health and wellness coaches. So I think you guys have had Mr. Hammond on before. So the health and wellness coaches, like the SFRSs, are assigned to units. So if you have a soldier struggling with height and weight, a soldier struggling with the APFT right now, and then in the future, of course, the ACFT, there's coaches there that will work with them one-on-one. Just got to put the time in and reach out and talk with them. But they're regionally aligned, so where they're in a unit, say in the upstate. Well, there's 3 different of them in the upstate. There's some here in Columbia, West Columbia, and then in the Low Country in the PD. We also have the yellow ribbon section, which I think you guys are familiar with, or most should be if they've had a deployment, and you have your pre and during and post event. So that section stays busy year-round with the state's op tempo and making sure that families are aware of programs such as the SFRS, all the other programs that we provide, and then resources while their service members deployed. So they also focus very much on the military family. Then you have, of course, behavioral health with Miss Ruth Ellis and Lisa Mustard, who's been on here a few times. And, as families go through struggles, we all have some sort of crisis that we're going through at time. They're there for that as well, and it's not just for the soldier, but it's there for the family member. So it's an excellent program. And we have veterans advisors, so when folks come back, the family members are looking for transitioning maybe, or the soldier's going to stay in, but these veteran advisors can help push them through processes with the VA. They help with employment as well, housing, you name it. They're kind of a catch-all when it comes to helping our soldiers. And then we have the R3SP program, the Resiliency, Risk Reduction, and Suicide Prevention. Mm-hmm. And so those programs are something I also interact with in the SMFC. And they're the heart of these matters, and they're involved. They're in units. They're out. They're talking with soldiers and just trying to keep a good pulse on folks' mental health, their morale, and just anything that falls into the R3SP realm. And they get that back to us, and then we roll it up, to the leadership. So great programs. Really happy to be involved with it, especially coming from the infantry world where this is a total contrast.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I know that there's, talking offline beforehand, there's a lot of events coming up in the month of November. So can you guys kind of explain what's going to be going on through the month that people can participate in to celebrate this with their families?
Absolutely. So one of the events we're going to have here in Columbia is going to be at the Lexington Armory at Platte Springs on November 20th. There's going to be a family event, and we'll have some flyers and some information on that. Some of the organizations that are going to be there to help support our military families are Red Cross. They have some great classes to help with communication and disaster preparation for families and kids, helping them feel comfortable, and they are a big supporter of our military across the country. The local chapters of some of our VSO clubs, our VFWs, American Legions, they're going to be there. And we're going to have other events online. Working with mental health has obviously been a big topic over the last couple years during this pandemic, and civil disturbance and deployments continuing. I mean, that all affects our families. And so we have some resources on mental health with NAMI to help push out to families to give them an opportunity to learn more about how they can be educated and they can help themselves. That's part of what we're here. All of our services are here. We want a resource and referral, and we want to help yourself be the best soldier and family that you can be. There's also, we do volunteer programs within our units. So there's our soldier family readiness groups. So there's classes on how you can get involved on the ground level to help your unit. So if you're a family member that wants to get a little bit more involved on that level, we can help you work through that. There's financial classes through our personal financial counselor on everything from, how to invest to how to budget. And they have those classes for children too. MSEC, our Military Child and Coalition, Education Coalition, they do classes on how to, work with your military family, ROTC, scholarships that are available. There's so many things out there, and that's why we want to be here today. We want to make sure, and encourage our military families. Sometimes I think they say, well, I'm just, whatever, we've done that. We do this. This is who we are. But, making sure that you're including the next generation, taking your family to the local Veterans Day parade and being proud of the service that you're giving and passing that on to the next generation and involving your parents, our young soldiers, making sure that your parents know that there's organizations clubs that moms and dads can be in as part of a military family. So we want to make sure we're educating everybody about all the opportunities, even MWR, making sure that you're doing on the bases, the local bases between Joint Base Charleston, Fort Jackson, Shaw. They have opportunities. Every card-carrying family member, if you have a CAT card, an ID card, you're eligible for all the services on there. You don't have to live on that base or be full-time military to participate in the haunted house or the Christmas parade or the events that they have on bases. So we want to make sure that people are aware of that.
Absolutely. One of my favorites is the Victory Travel Center. I'm a Disney nut. So every year when they put out guidance and discounts and things like that, when I was a first sergeant, I would put a huge post on our company's page about, hey, this is how you can get these great deals because, you don't want to have to sell a body part to go to Disney, and it's expensive.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And to Audra's point about the SFRSs, 4 years as a first sergeant, that was a lot of times my first call when I had a soldier in need. They're there, they're engaged, they're involved with the soldiers, and they're an asset, absolutely an asset. There's things that, since I took this job in February, I didn't even know we offered. So my big passion is to get the word out Those events, we push them through the orders process with the supplemental guidance every week. When an event comes up, we do have a Facebook page for the service member and family care. We advertise on the retiree's Facebook page as well, but we also have, for those with a CAT card, on the SKIP page, Service Member Family Care SKIP is regularly updated. But for those without a CAT card, our retiree community or our spouses that aren't able to get on the SKIP, we have the civilian website, which you guys graciously help us manage. And so the scguard.ng.mil, where /programs and benefits. And so we keep that updated as well. I'm big on having service maps, so you know where we are in our 7 one-stops, and then also contact information for those, and kind of know who you're talking to. So you can either meet them at the armory, or you can meet over some coffee and find the resource that you need to get the family whole. We kind of look at the holistic health and wellness, or health and fitness of the force, and a lot of that crosses our path. So it's not just the PT and the training, but it's the mental health, it's the spouse, it's the children. Just making sure that we're providing something for soldiers. So, times get tough. So who do we reach out to? And we want soldiers to know that it's Service Member Family Care. If they reach out to any one of our leads, they're going to resource you to the right person. So it's a great program.
Now, do soldiers have to go directly to their leadership, or can they go to their representative at their unit?
They can absolutely go to the representative at the unit. Each unit has representatives from all of the different service member family care branches. And truly, we are a family. We all are talking to each other. So it doesn't matter who you go to. If the only person that you've had contact with is an employment advisor, but you need something else, contact that person. If that's a number you have in your phone, and they'll get you to the right person. We all work with each other. Behavioral health will let us know if there's a housing issue, and we can help with that, or we'll let employment know if we find out about a job need, or the veteran advisors. If you're coming to us and saying, Grandpa never got his benefits and he served for so many years, we're going to make sure that information gets on. We're all talking to each other. It doesn't matter how the service member or the family member gets the assistance they need, so long as they get it. And that's the thing that we really want to promote for the whole program.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And I think it's important because a lot of people, they have that stigma around help. Like if you ask, you have people talking about you within the unit, but it shouldn't be like that. Like you should be able to go to your leadership or go to your representative and ask for that help and receive that help without any, negative or
repercussions.
There we go.
Sure.
Yeah,
So. And one of the things too we want to make sure to promote is it's not just about in a crisis, it's a moment of crisis. We have so many amazing things that are happening, classes on how to help get scholarships. We have our child and youth programs. They have bear hunts, quail hunts, deer hunts, and there's veteran hunts, there's youth hunts.
Yep.
We have our youth camp, there's a lot of exciting things that have nothing to do. You don't have to have a crisis to come to us. If you want to know how to enroll your new baby into Deers, or get your wife or your husband, whoever, you just got married and you got to get everything squared away, we're going to help you get to the right people to get all of those wonderful life events and help you find the good stuff. There's a lot of great stuff that we provide.
There really is. And I just want to say the youth camp, I was a part of that for the first time this year, really didn't know much about it. And just a life-changing experience for me as an adult, and being a part of it, and then seeing the kids from day 1 to day 5, how they grow and come together. And it's a great program, and I hope this year we just get flooded with applications. It's the first week of August, I think. I don't want to misspeak, but just a really, really great event. And it's, even the teenagers, and I have teenagers, and they're very little impressed by very little. But he left there different, and I saw him grow every day of the week. And that's a benefit of being in the Guard, is to come to that event, and they learn everything from just swimming. They did paddleboarding, boating, shooting, marching. It was just so much fun, and the stories. So it was a great experience, and one of the charges I have in this job is just getting our brand out, making sure that, the Readiness NCO knows about us, so that Readiness NCO and training, maybe even training NCO, are pushing that out to soldiers. And when the Readiness NCO has a problem, a lot of times their first call is going to be their SFRS. But that if it's not a problem, you just need some advice or some help, call us, because we're going to get you to the right program.
Mm-hmm. Now, with all these events that are coming up, I know you mentioned that they can get to your contact information from like the website and Facebook and all that. Is that where, I know you're saying that you push out a lot of stuff on supplemental guidance, but for those who aren't full time, are you guys actively going to be posting the events throughout the month on like your Facebook or any other platform that people can get to? Okay.
Yes,
absolutely.
And each unit, the Soldier Family Readiness Group has a Facebook page too. And some of the newer soldiers, and as people move from unit to unit, don't know about that. So we're trying to get that social media piece back up and going, and through email. So we're going to be making sure the representatives for each unit will be pushing it down. If there's an active SFRG group and a mailing, an email tree or a phone tree, we'll push the information down. In our world, the lowest level is to those family members. So we want to make sure each family member is aware of the information.
And each unit actually fills out sheets for that too. So it's kind of a requirement for unit commanders to make sure that the SFRSs have up-to-date contact information. So that's a big push and things we follow up on. So every quarter we can produce a report that says, hey, this is where we need some help, and this unit here, based off of that. But it is something that's required for them to make sure the SFRSs have access and engaging with the soldiers. And I'm trying to think of any other. I know we do grab soldiers at the battle handoff, so we brief there. So our very newest, high-speed recruits and service members are coming in, and they're hearing this right off the rip as they come here to the Bluff Road Army or wherever they have it that month. And so they're getting exposed to all the programs. And so I think that's a great thing. And then, again, the foot soldiers are really the SFRSs in the units. And then we do push through a lot through the CSM MSC meeting. They get a lot, so we're kind of at the top, the middle, and the bottom. And the thing is just not to let anybody slip through the cracks if they need us.
Now, are any of the events that will be coming up in November, will they need to, like, register anything? Or is it just free for all, you show up, and then you leave kind of thing?
Well, of course, we're still in a COVID world, so some of the events are virtual, and they'll require you to sign in, and some of them are Zoom, different platforms of that nature. The event in Lexington does have a registration, and I have a brochure for that we can push out alongside this podcast so that they can register online. Okay, it's an Eventbrite registration. Just because there's only spaces in some of the classes those are all going to be in person, classes.
And Child and Youth Services pushes his, Mr. James Harris, he pushes his stuff out through Facebook and then kind of through some email distro as well for, we're in hunting season, I guess. So I'm a rookie hunter. I'm going on a trip with him this week to see what it's all about. And, those are some great events that we'll keep pushing out that way. And they're not just green. These are purple programs. So, we include our Air Force branch as well.
Absolutely. And the biggest key is as long as we have contact information and families can always ask their soldier. And we know a lot of times we send a lot of information home with soldiers on the weekends. We brief on drill weekends, and it doesn't always get back. So as a family, we want to say, ask your soldier about any information they have. Ask them who they can contact, and they may have, a crumpled up brochure in their uniform pocket that has those contact informations on it. But we're really working to get that information to the soldiers, and as we look towards the holidays, and hopefully this year we'll be able to do some in-person holiday events at the units. We encourage families to get out there and get to know your soldiers' battle buddies. Take the family, let them have the experience at the armory if it's open, depending on each command handles that differently. But if there's a family day, or a holiday meal, take the opportunity to go there and get to know, because that staff is going to be boots on the ground. Our service member family care teams are going to be there. The volunteers are working with the units to get the cakes and Christmas items for kids. They're all going to be there to support it and available to answer questions and provide resources.
And do y'all do events? Because I know Columbia is kind of like the hub of things, just because that is. But do y'all do events like throughout the entire state, or is it just primarily Columbia?
No, we're absolutely everywhere. Our one stops are all the way across the state. We're in, we're in Florence and Charleston and Rock Hill and Clemson and Spartanburg and Lexington, out at McIntyre. So we're out there in the field, and we're covering all those counties.
Yep.
So
in Florence.
Yep.
Yeah,
we're doing job fairs. We're doing veteran coalition meetings. We're meeting people in the small towns and in the counties and the VSOs and everything. All of the staff is doing that to make sure, we're supporting Veterans Day parades in small towns, and we're supporting all the little things, everything from supporting the games here, the big college, games, and military events at those levels, to being there as a support, honoring a veteran at a high school football game if they want that. We're wherever we need to be.
Awesome.
Is there anything else that you guys would like to add before we close out, maybe that we didn't ask, or any more resources or information?
I would say just knowing the location, so the Clemson, the Spartanburg, the Rock Hill, one stops, West Columbia, Florence, Charleston, and Orangeburg. Those are our key facilities. So if you go to one of those, or you live in that area, that's kind of the reach out. And they'll do events that are kind of aligned with that, congressional district or town or region. It just depends on how big it is, but they're in tune with what's going on around them. So that's how, to really stay on top of events, it's going direct with that one stop with anybody who's on our list of or our contact list for that location. They'll get you pointed in the right direction. Okay.
And then I think my final thing is just to say thank you again to our military families. We're
Absolutely.
a very unique population. Truly, we're only about 0.5% of the whole country that are military families. There's less than 1% of our families serve. And so it's just very important to just step back and realize, as a family member and as a soldier, that, you've done something that a lot of people aren't willing to do. And to thank you. And there's lots of ways that the communities, the organization, Service Member Family Care, wants to serve you as a family and as a soldier, and support you and keep you around for as long as we can.
Absolutely. I'm thankful we have leadership that has provided these resources, because, it's great.
Absolutely. Well, again, we really appreciate both of you coming in today. I'm sure that we'll have either you or someone else in your sections to come and talk to us about different programs. But if anybody is interested in any of these events, definitely check out the emails that are going to be sent out, your units that have representatives, the website, Facebook pages. And if you still can't figure it out, ask somebody, because somebody knows.
I'll even drop it. 803
Okay, there you go.
299 1464 1464. So you give me a call. I'll get you in the right spot.
Awesome. Again, thank you all so much. I always forget that closing these out to tell everybody that we are on iTunes. So if you just want to listen to the podcast and you don't want to necessarily watch the podcast on YouTube, we are on iTunes. But if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.